Hello everyone, in this module we are going to learn about the violin plots and following are the topics that we are going to discuss. Firstly, we will learn what is violin plot. After that, we will see components and application of a violin plot, and in last we will learn to create a violin plot in Matplotlib. So, violin plots are used to visualize the distribution of a numerical data, and basically violin plots are a combination of the box plot and a kernel density plots which shows the peak in the data. And the advantage of the violin plot over the box plot is that it shows the summary of the data as well as the density for each variable. So now we will discuss components of a violin plot. The first component is a white dot. It is a median point. The next is black bar. It is the interquartile range and it is situated in the center of the violin. The next is thick gray line and the thin gray line. It is the lines that are stretched from the bar and it is defined as the first quartile minus 1.5 into IQR and the third quartile plus 1.5 into IQR respectively. And the last component is a outlier, and these are the observations that are lying outside of these fences. So here is the diagram of a violin plot. Here you can see that on the top we have outliers. This line, the thin lines are known as upper adjacent values and the lower adjacent values. The white dot is called as a median and the thick gray lines are called as third quartile and the first quartile. So now we will see some application of a violin plot. So in the following cases we use the violin plots. The first one, it is used to show the statics. The next, it is used to show the entire distribution of the data, and it is also used to deal with the multi-model data. So now we will learn to create this plot in Matplotlib. And in Matplotlib, to make the violin plot, we use the violin plot function of the axis module, and the syntax is matplotlib.axis.violin and in parentheses we pass different parameters. The first parameter is a data set. It takes value as an array or a sequence of a vector and it is nothing but the input of a data. The next parameter is a positions. It takes value as an array and it is the positions of the violin. The next is VERT and it take value as a boolean. If true, it creates a vertical violin plot, and if false, it creates a horizontal violin plot. And the last one is width. It take value as an array like or a float and it sets the width of the violin. So now we will see an example to clearly understand the concept of a violin plot. So here is the code. So firstly I import the matplotlib.pyplot.splt library. After that I define numpy library as np. Then I define data coordinates, and for defining data coordinates I use np.random.randint function and np.random.normal function, and I assign x1, x2 and x3 variable to it. Then I create a subplots. For this I call the subplots function and I pass n rows and n columns as a parameter to it, and I set its value 1 for, and I assign fig and axis variable to it. Then I call violin.plot function with respect to axis variable and I pass x1, x2, x3 a combination of the above defined data set as a data to it, and I change its width to 1. For this I call the width function in the violin.pyplot function. Then I want to add labels at the axis, so I call set underscore x label function and set underscore y label function to add label at x axis and the y axis respectively. And as a x axis label I pass x axis and a y axis label I pass y axis. Then I also want to add a title to the plot. For this reason I call set underscore title function and pass violin plot as a title to it. And in last I call the show function as I want to display the plot on the screen. So I execute this code and here is the output. You can see that it plots three violin plots with x-axis at the x-axis label and y-axis at the y-axis label. And you can see that the violin plot is a combination of a box plot, which is represented by this line in shape of eye, and the kernel density plot, which is shown in the form of this blue region area. So with this, we have learned how to create a violin plot, and in the next module, we will learn to create a heat map in a Matplotlib.